Joey, spooky season's almost over.
Well, it's happened quick.
It's flying. It's flying by. Time's going quick. It's a little scary.
But
yeah. Okay. I always get it wrong. Yeah, the Yankees, man. It's all right. But listen, it's okay. It's scary times because it's spooky season.
Yeah.
And the Yankees are in Cancun right now.
They are.
So,
Indeed.
Speaking of vacation, growing up as a fellow Bronxite, New Yorker, one of the iconic locations to get away is Lake George, New York. You ever been?
Never. I've heard of Lake George.
So I've been there.
It's like, 6-7 hours?
No, it's about like maybe 4 or 3, something like that. It's upstate, so it's quite a trip. And it's a nice place. I went there, I think, like 3 times. They have a ferry that goes out onto the lake. It's called the Minnehaha, something like that. Mm-hmm. Legitimately, it's called Minnehaha. My parents love it. It's beautiful in the summer, beautiful in the fall. Obviously, the fall, we're starting to see the change of the colors of the leaves now. It's actually feeling like fall. Yeah. And they have like the town area. They actually have like a little museum there where you can walk through. I remember this as a kid, like a horror museum with the wax figurines, things like that. I think they have a place there called the Silo that has these apple cider donuts that are insane. It's a breakfast spot, I believe. And then
just like towny vibes,
old school towny forest area vibe. But then they have, I remember as a kid going there and I'm like, why is my mom making me go here? But there's a fort there. It's called Fort William Henry. And upon the years going on, I come to realize that Fort William Henry is haunted. So had I known as a kid, I would have took it in a little bit more. As a matter of fact, my memory serves me correct. The ghost hunters, not ghost adventures, ghost hunters, Jason and Grant Wilson, they went to, I forgot Jason's last name, but Jason and Grant from the Ghost Hunters went there, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And we were talking in the last few episodes about how things get haunted, right? It's dying suddenly. Historical places, Native Americans, that their ground is tainted and they're not happy, so their spirits still roam. And then, of course, battles. Now, Fort William Henry has not only the battlefield essence, it also has the Native American aspect. So you don't really know much about Lake George, yeah? You've never been, but you've just heard it in passing.
Definitely seen people go on vacation in my Insta story and stuff like that.
Yeah, Lake George. So we're going to get in to Lake George. Nick should be coming back soon, from what I've gathered.
Some notes.
We're going to have some real notes. We're going to have 3 of us again, so it's going to be a little bit more tedious to set up.
Join us on a journey through space and time.
We're going to have...
where Nick brings his notes.
Nick's notes return soon. We're going to have him. I'm going to have to MacGyver everything like when we had Bobby on again and run extra wires. But it's good because we did it once before and we shall do it again and he'll be back. But I want to set the stage here. In 1775, the French and Indian War broke out between Britain and France, and the colonies were caught in the middle. Okay. The British built Fort William Henry right on the southern end of Lake George. It's named after King George II's grandsons, William and Henry. William's a fantastic name, by the way. although I never use William because that means I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Or whenever I went for jobs, they won't say Billy off the bat. They'll be like, William, nice to meet you. I'm like, hi, how you doing?
William, how are you?
How are you? I'm great. That's why I don't use it. It sounds so like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways, the fort's job was simple. Guard the lake, protect the route between New York and Canada, and keep the French army out.
All right.
Okay? But within just 2 years, the fort would become the site of one of the bloodiest events in American history. In August of 1757, the French army under General Louis Joseph de Montcalm
It's a hell of a name.
Montcalm, actually, Montcalm, surrounded the fort. They had thousands of troops plus Native American allies and began a siege that lasted 6 days. Inside, Lieutenant Colonel George Monroe and his British troops were running low on food, ammunition, and hope. On August 9th, Monroe surrendered under the promise that his men could retreat safely. But what happened next will go down in legend. The Fort William Henry Massacre. As the British and colonial troops, along with women and children and wounded soldiers, left, some of Montcalm's Native American allies, enraged and seeking vengeance, attacked. Hundreds were killed. Others were dragged into the woods, never to be seen again. The fort was burned to the ground, and what was left of the survivors retreated towards Fort Edward, which I don't really know where that is. Has to be somewhere kind of close by. That kind of violence, of course, leads to paranormal activity, tainted energy forever embedded in the ground. Over the years, people have reported countless ghost sightings around Fort William Henry and the nearby shoreline of Lake George. It'd be nice if I could get the next page. These are fantastic, by the way.
It helps.
3 days of notes. Throw it in an email, because I don't use notes, and then send it through ChatGPT to check my spelling and reword it. Pain in the ass. That's why I can't wait for Nick to come back.
Nick is just handwriting, man.
Handwriting.
ChatGPT is right here.
Yeah, on top of work and editing and making reels. Yeah, so visitors and tour guides have claimed to hear screams, gunfire, and the sound of drums echoing from the woods, especially late at night when the fort is entirely empty. But some of the most chilling reports don't come from soldiers. They come from spirits of the women and girls. Remember, there was women and children inside the fort when they were supposedly had a established agreement that we are going to leave safely. So that meant not only wounded soldiers, but children and people that were in there as well. During the siege, the fort wasn't just home to soldiers. There were families inside, wives, daughters, nurses who tended to the wounded. Many of them died when the fort was overrun. One popular legend tells of a young girl in a white dress, always in white. Don't know why, can't pinpoint white.
It's just like
It's color of pureness.
it's like folklore.
Folklore.
It's like put her in white. No, this story just needs her in a white dress.
I can't. The only thing I can come up with is
Like La Llorona.
La Llorona.
She appears in the night.
La
in a white
Llorona.
dress.
Dia de los Muertos. Oscuridad.
It's close. It's good.
It's good. It's getting there. One popular legend tells of a young girl in a white dress wandering near the old fort. And, let me just reread that. A girl in a white dress wandering near the old fort wall and the lake's edge. So you have the fort, it's near the water. So right there in between the shoreline and the wall is Fort William Henry. She's said to appear just before storms roll in. Her figure is faint and in the mist. Witnesses say she looks confused, sometimes even calling out for her father, believed to be a soldier who died defending the fort.
She's in purgatory.
Yeah. Or, they say
Stuck there.
when you die unexpectedly or under really extreme and violent situations or circumstances that you remain because it shouldn't have happened. You're gone and you're like, can't process. I guess there's no...
It's like we talked about the other day, the movie The Outsiders. Or no, is it The Outside? Yeah, The Outsiders.
Yeah, with the...
No, not The Outsiders.
We're not dead.
We're not dead.
Right, you would tell when Bobby was here, we're not dead. You know how I remembered that? Just from your impersonation.
She said her English little accent. She turned into a witch, and she's like, "Woo!" It's wild.
Yeah.
But they were stuck in purgatory, but they didn't know, so they're just living out eternity in the same house over and over again. Every day is like the same kind of
Groundhog's Day.
Yeah,
in spirit terms.
Yeah.
Some say she was one of the children killed during the massacre. Others believe she's a young woman who worked as a nurse, desperately searching for the wounded men before she herself was struck down. And here's the creepy part. there are security cameras at the fort that have supposedly picked up shadows and white figures moving along the battlements after closing hours. When staff go check, no one is there. And I remember we were talking about on Memorial Day weekend, we did the Blue Ghost, that ship where there people go there to take tours, and then a man comes about and he takes them on tours and starts telling them in-depth stories of that ship. And then they go back to like the main entrance of entering the boat or the battleship, and they're like, yeah, that tour guide Charlie is, because his name was Charlie, he's a real good guy. And it's like, there's no tour guide named Charlie on here. And even on that ship, they catch things on security camera, because obviously you have to have security cameras on things like that. It's historical. And they've caught things on security cameras. So when you have valid evidence on, especially on historical battleships or forts, that's good evidence in my eyes.
Pre-AI days.
Pre-AI days. Well,
now you can't believe anything anymore.
Someone showed me the other day. They were like, look at this dog. It came all the way over here at and with an eagle. An eagle landed and brought the dog to a mud pile where the eagle was in the mud, and then it transitioned into actual videos of people taking care of bald eagles. So I told that individual, I was like, this is AI. There's Sora is really making people believe that there's a lot of things. We're going to do an episode on AI.
I was playing with it already. It's wild.
How advanced it's coming. Like it's crazy. I don't want to do it this episode.
No.
But I listened to an AI generated song of a blues version of Gangster's Paradise by Coolio.
Sick, I heard it.
Dude, it is better than the original. It is insanely good, where I'm trying to figure out a way that I can download it on Apple Music, but like
listen to it.
On the way home from the gym today, I was on TikTok on a saved folder of music and listening to it on the way home, like from the gym. It's that good. And that goes to show you that musicians are cooked.
Yeah.
Soon. They're going to lose their
everything.
job. So, but we're almost done with spooky season, buddy. Then we can have the
AGI conversation.
We can have some Joey conversation once we're out of this element, because this is not your element.
No.
This is that.
I just go along for the ride.
Yeah. Well, wait till you really go along on the ride.
This fucking place.
And then there's the inn and the museum that are nearby. Built near the original site where the guests have reported strange activity, cold spots in the middle of the rooms, doors slamming on their own, and the scent of burning wood when there are no fires can be smelled, heard, and seen. So remember, Fort William Henry had burned down. And what you see now is the remnants of what was there, and they obviously built to make it as close as possible to the actual fort. So a lot of times in paranormal occurrences, let's say a man passes away that likes cigars, right? Mm-hmm. He smokes cigars every day, twice a day. He passes away. Months later, weeks later, days later,
people smell cigars.
People smell cigars still, as if he's still there smoking cigars. And that's because his energy, this is my thought, his energy, this is something that he liked to do. So because his energy is embedded there, that energy can actually manifest and recreate smells or just give off of things of what that person used to do. Remember, energy can't die or be created. Mm-hmm. Whatever energy we think we create is energy that's been there. So atom bombs is essentially stuff we already have coming together to force out something from the reactions of how they're made. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's already there, energy that's combined together to force out the energy that's within, right? If that makes sense. I'm trying to put it as best as possible. So energy can't be taken away or created. It's already here. So essentially, and we are energy. It's been proven. Recent studies, there was a recent studies I was reading. So really, if you think about it, when we pass away, something has to happen to our energy, which is crazy, you know? So I think that when people pass away and they do something particularly, or they have a cologne, or they smoked cigars, cigarettes, or hummed or whistled or sang, these are things that you can smell, hear, when somebody goes away. That's a lot of people's theories, not just my theory. Like, it's not going to take credit for it. So that's what happens there at Lake George, Fort William Henry, as far as the paranormal activity. They could smell things in the museum, in the gift shop, smell the burning wood still. Unless the fire was that bad, you could actually still smell smoke on wood, but I doubt it. Mm-hmm. Lake George itself is full of stories, and not just the fort. Fishermen and boaters have also claimed to see a woman standing on the water at dawn, only to vanish when they approach, totally away from the fort. Locals say she's connected to the massacre, perhaps a mother who lost her child or daughter who drowned fleeing the attack. So away from the fort, in the lake, trying to swim away. Now, Lake George is gigantic.
Yeah.
So, we talked at the beach club during the summer, and you were telling me that story that you tried to swim to City Island.
Oh yeah, I would have died.
Yeah. So that lake is.
Had that boat not been out I'm done.
I'm not gonna say. I know the how big the lake is. I mean, want to chat GPT real quick how big Lake George is mileage wise, but it's pretty big to try to run away from something, jump into the lake, and then try to swim after your body's already exhausted, and depending on the temperature of the water too. So, you getting that info?
It's about 32 miles long. And,
yeah. So
1.3 miles wide.
Yeah.
Or 1 to 3 miles wide. So depending on where you start from, on the width end, it'll be anywhere from 1 to 3 miles long.
Still swimming a mile after running out of the fort.
But then going the other direction is insane.
32.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So divers exploring the lake. The divers exploring the lake's cold, deep water say they have heard whispers through their air hoses. Even felt gentle tugs, like small hands reaching out from below. That's terrifying. Like anything underwater, now you're under dark, cold water with goggles on and an air hose, and you hear stuff underwater. That's terrifying.
Yeah. Right.
And near the shore, where the fort's debris once washed down, a few people have claimed to find child-sized handprints in the mud that disappear as soon as they look away. Every October, ghost tours run through Fort William Henry, and nearly everyone who has gone says the same thing. You feel it. The air feels thicker, the silence doesn't feel like silence, and it feels like you are being watched. And what makes Lake George different from the other haunted sites, it's not just the ghosts of soldiers, it's the ghosts of innocence that has been lost, families broken apart, little girls who never made it out. Now today, Fort William Henry has been featured in multiple ghost hunting shows, documentaries, and paranormal investigations. Teams have picked up on EVPs of women crying, whispering, saying, "Help me," and one chilling voice that clearly says, "Where's my daughter?" EMF detectors spike near the old hospital area, which makes sense since there's where the wounded died and were being treated during the siege. Thermal cameras have caught unexplained heat signatures in areas with no power. And some investigators report soft giggles, the sound of child, echoing in the stone tunnels beneath the fort. One of the museum's caretakers even says he locked up one night and saw a figure standing in the courtyard. A girl, maybe 10 years old or 11, wearing what looked like 18th century clothing. When he called out to her, she vanished into thin air. So, Fort William Henry, battleground. I feel like this could be a segment because I've been doing this a lot. Joey, as a skeptic, can you give me a logical explanation for the strange activities in Lake George, Fort William Henry?
I would like to start by saying people are strange.
People are strange.
People are strange.
When you're a stranger, faces seem ugly when you're around.
That song must have been bubbling up there somehow.
That song was featured on Deliver Us from Evil. Eric Banner.
Oh, yeah.
Played Ralph Sarchi.
Yeah,
and it played in his car, and he was like, "What the fuck? Why is this playing in my car?" And then at the end of the movie, where
I got to rewatch that movie.
When the possession was going on, the exorcism, that song started playing. And that was a very interesting interview that we had. That was a very good episode.
Go watch that episode. Listen to that episode.
That episode has
before the filming days.
Over 60,000 listens. That episode.
That's dope.
Yeah, it was very good.
So I think some of it can be chalked up to people exacerbating stories, you know, like putting a little twist on it, adding this or adding that. Hey, I smelled this when I was there, or I heard this, or I saw this, and just kind of like adding to the lore of the place. And that's not to say that maybe somebody did see some weird shit or heard something strange, you know. As far as all the, like, you know, I'm skeptic wise, as a skeptic, you gotta experience something first before you're like, you know what, I'm gonna give them some credibility. But in my entire life, maybe like out of one or two instances, I've never experienced anything that was too crazy that I couldn't try to like rectify in my head myself, if that makes sense. Like, for instance, what was that one story that I told? I mean, the story that we told about the cemetery. You know, that could have been chalked up. That could have been just a homeless guy like hanging out in the cemetery. Just scared the shit out of us. Yeah,
that could have been a lot of things. Could have been the caretaker. Could have been the maintenance. Could have been security.
Yeah.
Could have been a ghost.
I mean, maybe, but he wasn't dressed like maintenance. I'll tell you that.
No. Well, then homeless people can wear all black.
Yeah.
They have long hair.
Yeah.
Long hair makes sense.
Strange.
Very strange.
It was strange. I'm trying to think of it as maybe some other instances. You know, there is one that I, you know, can't explain as a family member. My uncle was really little. He doesn't remember it. It's probably maybe like 4 years old. Actually 4. And his grandmother, which was my great grandmother, had just passed away. And I think I was probably I was just born, maybe 6-7 months old. And my uncle was talking to somebody in the room. And they were like, Richie, who are you talking to? And they asked him, he goes, I was talking to grandma.
You told me the story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, and that could be like a kid imagining things, you know, imagining talking to his grandma. Kids like have like wild imaginations. Or it could be, you know, she passed and she was just saying her goodbyes to her grandson. And that's also that you can't debunk it. You know what I mean?
See, you're trying to retell what things could be, but these are common things that happen.
Yeah.
Kids seeing things and talking. You hear stories like that.
And they say that they're more perceptive to, you know, the spiritual world because they're so young and they don't understand.
Young and they're very innocent.
Yeah.
And the thing is, there's like, you know, it was on this new Netflix documentary show. There was 3 parts in the first story, and then 2 or 3 parts in the second story. But the second story involved a family moving into a house, and when the kids moved in there, mom went outside, and there was a tire swing on the front of the house tree, and the mom was like looking out the window, and the kid was swinging very fast and very high. Yeah. And she went out there because he had a brother, and she's looking around when she goes outside, and she goes, "Where's your brother?" And he goes, "I'm not playing with, you know, whatever his brother's name. I'm playing with someone else." Then her mom was like, "Who's that?" And then she got spooked because he was very adamant about saying that he was playing with someone that wasn't there, and she saw him being pushed in this tire swing high, which, by the way, tire swings, not like regular swings where you can use your feet to get the momentum. It's kind of hard. You're in a tire.
Yeah.
So, you know, kids seeing ghosts and the smelling of things that aren't there, I could personally tell you it happened to me when I was at the Farnsworth house in Gettysburg. I stayed down below while that lady was cleaning up after the ghost stories that she was telling. And a lot of things happened in the basement. Basement was used for bodies and surgeries and nursing the wounded of the Battle of Gettysburg. And also, you know, people died down there just waiting to be treated. And my dad came to see what was taking so long, and he smelled it. You know, so I have experienced it. So I can tell you from firsthand accounts, that is 100% true. The energy that was left there can recreate a smell of what was once there.
Like I said before, maybe just like a portal into the past. Not necessarily a ghost, but like time slippage.
Starting to get on board with that. I actually had a event for the second time this year at my job where people came to tour the grounds. Can't say out loud, but I can strategically say that I work at a attraction in New York City that's very old. And they started having this historical ghost walk with just the employees that work there in the month of October. And we did it last year. And then this year I wanted to try something different. And we caught some pretty good responses by using the Estes method, which I'll pop it up on. Give me a... There you go. What that is. But in doing the Estes method at 3 to 4 different locations, there were some responses that were on the money. They had headsets on, so they can't hear the questions being asked from myself and the people that were there. And they were plugged into my spirit box via headphones. So headphones, spirit box is on, full blast, headsets on to soundproof everything, and they were turned around so they couldn't hear, couldn't read our lips or see us, right? And we got good responses. And at the end of the tour, I asked everybody, I said, I should have asked this at the beginning. By the show of hands, who came here tonight as a skeptic or was skeptical? And there was a few people. And I asked them, like 3 or 4 out of the 20 that came this time. And I said, are you still a skeptic? And one individual, a girl, said, yeah, I am. I said, did you find anything a little weird with what happened? She was like, yeah, but she was still a skeptic. She saw something strange happening. It could have been by chance through the radio frequencies that the right word came out and heard, and they said it was coincidence. So I guess in order to sway someone to believe in the paranormal full-fledged, the best way would be that they'd have to, like you, have to see something with your own eyes.
Yeah.
And
I need to get slimed, just like fucking Ghostbusters.
Peter Venkman. It's here, Ray. It's staring at me. Nasty little spud, isn't he? I think he can hear you, Ray.
Exactly.
I love that. I love that. I have to watch that. I haven't watched that in a while.
By the way, there's a whole section in the DMV. Went to the DMV today where everybody has their own Halloween decorations.
Yeah.
Station, and then there's a Ghostbusters station on the corner. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I heard about that from an employee that works there.
Yeah. I was like, what is going on here?
That's somebody that told me about that, made a whole Hocus Pocus themed section.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I saw that one too.
Yes, she made all that.
That's good.
Yeah, she made all that too.
This is good. It's good work.
Yes, that's indeed good work. But I'll end off on this, is that the more you hear these stories, the repetitive thing happens when it comes to hauntings and stories, is that smell things, women in white, a massacre, a battle, Native American burial ground, something tragic happening, one person taking their own life, a tragic loss, a tragic death, a sickness, insane asylums that bad experiments were being done. That trauma carries energy, and if it happens like that and a person suffers, it stays.
I'll tell you one. My mom used to live in Central Islip. This was my grandfather bought the first house for his family, and there was a family that had lived there before, and they obviously knew nothing about the family that lived there before. And so I don't know how long into them living there this happened, but my mom was a kid, and she said she was looking out the window and she saw 2 little girls playing outside in the front yard, like her front yard. And now they're in a gated front yard, so you have to go into their yard. You have to open up their gate to get into the front yard to play. She saw these 2 little girls in dresses just running around. And then she saw them run to the front door. She said they looked at me, they saw me, and they ran to the front door. And the front door is out of line of sight from the window. So, she can't see over to the right. So she goes to meet them at the front door to see who these girls are, right? And she's a kid. She probably wants to play with them. She opened up the door. No one there. No one in the yard. Nothing. Come to find out, years later, that property had a pool in the backyard.
And 2 little girls drowned.
2 little girls drowned.
Wow.
Yeah.
Your mom also is very...
And Joanne said that. Remember when I mentioned about my mom? She's like, your mom has a gift.
Yeah.
She's like, almost like something told her right away that
because it carries
You know,
on. It carries on.
It's kind of strange.
Carries on. You might have it too.
Maybe. Let's see.
Let me find out. Joey's at home and
We're gonna go to these places. You're gonna take me to. I'm gonna be like sitting there, like ghosts flying around me in a circle and shit.
the Yankee symbol's gonna levitate off your hat. I'm gonna be like, Joey, there is no Joey, only Zool. Yeah, like when Ray gets possessed in the second Ghostbuster movie.
Yep.
Now I am Ray Vigo, and Peter's like, now. I'll zap the shit out of you. I'm sorry, buddy. You start turning into some demon, I'm shooting you with a proton pack. Just, yeah, man. Your mom has she's sensitive, and there was someone telling me stories at my work event the other day.
You know what's crazy? I'll ask her. I'm like, who's gonna win the World Series, Ma? She's been right like 10 years out of the last 9.
So you knew the Yankees were gonna lose?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah, she told me. And I was like, I think you're wrong about this year, Ma. I was like, you're wrong. This is bullshit. I'm always trying to prove her wrong.
Ironically, I have...
and she knows nothing about baseball, by the way. She doesn't watch baseball. She doesn't know the players. She doesn't know. She just goes by a feeling, she says, whether she'll just sit there and she's like, I have to ask. And I'm like, what do you mean? Who do you have to ask? And she's just like sitting there. And she's like, I got it. She's like, the Yankees aren't going to win. And I said, are the Dodgers going to win? And she goes,
yeah.
I'm like...
I could tell you I'm psychic too. Every year I say the Mets have no shot.
I don't think you need to be a psychic.
I don't need to be a psychic to know. I can tell you right now, the Mets aren't going to win.
No, they got a good shot next year.
Yeah.
Next year they got a good shot.
That's the first mistake by saying that every year.
Every year.
It's the first mistake. I just come to terms with not saying that. But yeah, I this is how hauntings happen. So now to set everybody up for the last spooky season episode, we're actually going to dive into no spooky tales, how different countries and places celebrate Halloween on October 31st.
Huh?
So it should be interesting. So
Dia de los Muertos.
Dia de los Muertos. I believe that's the 2nd or 1st of November, really.
My wife is Mexican, so we have to set up, I don't set it up. She sets up an ofrenda.
You definitely don't.
You know what an ofrenda is?
Ofrenda?
Yeah. I think I'm saying it right. Anyway, they set up something like this, right? And it's got a couple of rows. And
candles.
It's candles, it's family's photos, and a personal item of that family member. Mm-hmm. And so the myth is that
they'll come back.
When the veil is down, that they can come back, but you have to put their picture up and something that belongs to them or something that they liked. Or you could put both, something that belonged to them and something that they like. So like, for instance, my grandfather drank Heinekens, so we put a Heineken out for him, and
this is currently set up in your house right now.
No, she's gonna. I think there's still some time. She's supposed to set it up this week or something.
Are you okay with this?
Yeah, she's set it up every year now. So
just think like it's like the Coco movie.
It is. That's nice. Exactly what it is.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Just one
night. A little pop up of what it looks like in Coco. Okay.
Yeah, it's not that bad. This is their, but it's not on the 31st. I believe it's the Dia de los Muertos is the 1st or 2nd.
Yeah.
Okay, even be the 3rd. It's not Halloween night. It's like the 1st or 2nd. But yeah, that's their tradition, and they do that. So they even in Mexico go to the cemetery at night. And
have you seen some of those cemeteries? They like deck it out, man. It's beautiful.
Do it there in the cemetery, and to them that's not remotely strange or scary.
Yeah.
They're in a cemetery at night, and everyone's doing it because they strongly believe that in some way, shape, or form, their family members come back that one night and are there with them. And
it's a cool little belief,
Yeah, it's a belief. Whether I would love to go to one of these and film and take out equipment and see if something happens at that.
That'd be cool.
Just to see,
I'm sure.
Is this really like I will 100% not go to Mexico at a cemetery at night. I can tell you that right now. Hey, gringo, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I would not know. No way.
You don't belong here,
You don't belong here. I'm not doing it. But I'll tell you.
You just got to hide out, bro. You got to throw on some.
I'm not hanging out nowhere, man. Not going down there. There's certain notes.
I've been to Mexico. It's nice, man.
Have you been to a cemetery at night in Mexico?
No, but I've passed cemeteries during the day in Mexico.
It's just a totally different thing, you know?
Yeah.
You'd be either playing.
I mean, cemeteries in general. And so there's a park, one of the Xcaret theme parks. I guess they can't do anything or move the cemeteries, but there's there are actual real cemeteries in that theme park. They bought the land, but part of the, deal with buying that land was they have to leave the cemeteries and the grounds untouched. And they're actually taken care of really nice. They're like decorated and adorned, and then you're seeing the dates and you're like, I was in a theme park, so I was like, is this a joke or is it a real cemetery? And I had to look it up. It turns out
they don't play
real
around.
cemeteries over there.
Certain places they do not play around.
And the cemeteries aren't like our cemeteries where it's just like stones and mausoleums and it looks a little spooky. They're like bright and colorful and
very different.
It's really cool.
Very different look on death there, down there, as that's what they, and that's why you can see that in Dia de los Muertos. They the way they do it it's
like a celebration.
It's a celebration of one's life coming back that one time, that one time of the year. But we're going to get into how different places celebrate Halloween. I actually started watching like the history of Halloween last night and then instantly fell asleep, like within 5 minutes. I cannot stay awake no more at night.
That doesn't happen anymore.
I'm exhausted from work and everything. But when you want to stay awake and celebrate Dia de los Muertos, the best way to do that is getting coffee at How You Brewing Cafe in Tuckahoe, New York, with over 14 different cold brews that you can get. Iced coffee, which is getting to that point where iced coffee
cold brew is becoming my favorite now.
Yeah, cold, but it's getting towards the end of iced coffee season.
It's always iced coffee season.
Nah, not for me. But if you want 14 different varieties of iced coffee, How You Brewing Cafe has just that. And of course, their house blend hot coffee. And they've been showing a lot of espressos lately on their page, which look really, really good. I can tell you right now that How You Brewing Cafe will, in fact, keep you up the entire day of Dia de los Muertos. So if you want to stay awake and get a really good cup of joe, How You Brewing Cafe in Tuckahoe, New York is the place to go. And of course, a big thank you to Spotify for Creators. If you don't know about Spotify for Creators, is the free app that allows you to get your podcasting idea
out there.
If you have a phone, tablet, or computer, head over to Spotify for Creators to get started. Joey,
Billy,
we have one more spooky season episode now to go, and then
don't we? Just one more. One more.
One more. And then I got to bring the clown down here.
I got to ruin it, man.
I got to bring him down. But one more to go, and then we can get back to some really good conspiracies and stuff that are going on.
Oh, man. We've been so deep in spooky season that there's so much. You could make a whole year of content in the last 3 months.
After next week, it's just going to be Joey on camera, which a lot of people are not going to complain about.
Listen, I don't. That's all right.
It's good. Good.
Somebody's got to do it.
You have fans.
Good.
You have fans, buddy.
That's all right.
Just letting you know you have fans.
Thank you.
They appreciate that face.
This is getting strange.
Your lady's going to come up to me and be like, who are the fans, Billy? Who are the fans?
Who are they?
I have fans too.
Good.
Not many.
Okay.
But and that has been another episode of the Say What Again, Billy podcast.